Hello guys. This is a continuation on my payphones and privacy mini-series segment. So I'm going to be touching on a brief history of payphones and their rise in America. Sorry to people internationally, but this is a USA specific description of payphone history. So, and it does start in America. So, the first payphone was invented by William Gray and developed by George Long, and it was installed in Hartford, Connecticut, and this was in front of the Hartford, Connecticut Trust Company, some kind of bank, and so now that is CVS. The Hartford Bank the Hartford Trust Company is now CVS, but where that CVS is now used to be the location of the first payphone. It was installed in 1889, and it was a post-pay payphone. So it was based on an honor system where you make a call, and then based on how long the call is, you are expected to enter the coins to pay for the call afterwards, and the operator could then tell what kind of coins are being dropped in there based on the sound they make. And then, so in 1898, the first prepay station was created by the Western Electric Company, and the Western Electric number 5 collector, and this was in Chicago in 1898 that the first prepay payphone was installed. So, and then in 1902, there were 81,000 payphones in the USA. In 1905, the first outdoor coin-operated payphone was installed in Cincinnati. So that was the first one that was on a street, outdoors. And then we're kind of moving quickly through history from here. There weren't a lot of advancements during the first half, but until like 1966. I mean, there were some advancements, but 1966 is noteworthy for the first dial tone feature, where the dial tone appears first when you pick up the phone, so that you can make emergency calls. It was introduced in 1966. So that you would use a payphone to make emergency calls without paying first. In 1967, a man by the name of Charles Katz had a court case against the United States, which was overturned by the Supreme Court in defense, exonerating Charles Katz. He was sending illegal bets over the telephone. He was coordinating bets, and based on his Fourth Amendment rights, the Supreme Court overruled a previous case that charged him when he appealed, when this Katz guy appealed when he said that his Fourth Amendment rights were violated. That's a very quaint time, but I'm going to cover this and its implications in another video. But so the Fourth Amendment being long gone in our modern age, essentially. So in 1995, then through 1999, it's a little undecided, but between 1995 and 1999, there was a number of some 2 to 2.6 million payphones in the United States. So we don't know exactly what year the peak was, and we don't know exactly what the peak number was, but it was between 95 and 99, and between 2 and 2.6 million phones, payphones that is. And we start to get into the decline of payphones. And I want to mention one more thing. In 1992 was the first real case against payphones in court, lobbied in Chicago, in order to restrict and ban payphones. Payphones began in the early 80s and early 90s to be associated with criminal activity, and that became a major reason why payphones started to be banned. It's a common misconception that it's simply because of technological change in cell phones that payphones are going away. It has just as much, if not more, to do with their association with criminal activity and the government wanting to surveil us all and listen to every phone call and every message we send. So, but anyway, so in 2001, Bell South, which was a early adopter of the payphone and a major payphone contributor, Bell South quits the payphone business in 2001. Then in 2007, AT&T quits making and operating payphones. And then Verizon in 2011, they stopped operating payphones. And then in 2016, a piece of technology called Link NYC, they open in New York City. So if you've ever been to New York City, you'll see these large touchscreen devices. It's just like a giant touchscreen. Basically a touchscreen phone that's giant and planted on the sidewalk, and you can use it to access Wi-Fi. You can call for emergency purposes on it. You can charge your phone or other devices on it. At one point, you could actually browse the internet on this Link NYC for about 6 months before they took it away because too many people were looking at porn on the sidewalk. But anyway, and then most recently, I should say, the story that New York City has or is in the process of removing its last payphones, that's been remarkable and really got me thinking about this story, because we're living, because those Link NYC kiosk things, they are not, they're not nearly as private as a payphone, and they share all your they share everything you use it for. They share all that information with advertisers, and who knows who else. You got to imagine anyone else beside, even without, if they give it to advertisers, why wouldn't they give it to the government? So, oh, and of course, at this point in 2022, there's less than 100,000, probably nearing 50,000 payphones remaining in the country. So once had over 2 million, maybe even 2.6 million, and now we have less than 100,000 and dwindling quickly. And again, I should impart that it has just as much to do with surveillance and curtailing of criminal activity as it does with the rapid advancement and adoption of cell phones and smartphones. So there you go. There's a little brief history, and you can join me next to talk about some of the, I would like to have a conversation about the efforts against, what really killed the payphone and what is killing the payphone most of all. So I'm going to talk about that next. Thank you.